Back, we have a great episode for you guys. We are here with the founder of Dr. Shots and some new products on the market that you definitely need to check out, which he's going to dive right into. We are here with Scott Tharp. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We're happy to have you. Really excited to kind of learn more about this new product that you have. I know you launched it a few years ago, which we'll dive into that. But I want to know a little bit about you. I obviously have known you for a long time, but for our viewers, talk about, you're a serial entrepreneur, some of your ventures, and how you got here.
All right. I'm born and raised in Dallas, Texas. Been here my whole life. Love Texas. You can take me out of Texas, but it's always going to be in me. It's just what it is. You can't change that. I started in, as far as business and employee in my work career, I started in construction way back in the day. 12 years old, I think it was. I worked on a demolition crew, just toting junk out of the way for the men to work. But it stayed there. I liked it. I liked what I did. I didn't mind the sweat and the bleed even. It paid well. And so I stuck with it. I worked in a grocery store for 3 days. Not me. Wasn't for me. So I stayed in construction, all of it, framing, a little bit of electrical, mainly plumbing area. Utility, construction, commercial construction. I touched in all of it, and then finally decided that when the boss man's driving around in that real nice truck, I said, I want that. I want one of those. How do I get one of those? Well, you got to be the boss man. So around 17 or 18, I picked up the hammer for myself and started building and doing little stuff like patios and patio covers and whatever I could to make some extra cash. And that turned into a business real quick. And from that point, I never looked back. Entrepreneur just kind of seemed to be in my blood. So I've since then I've opened and closed probably, we'll say around a dozen companies. Some of them made good money. Some of them didn't make very good money. I've sold a few, I've closed a few, but that was my college. Where I came from, 800 square foot frame house in Pleasant Grove. There wasn't a lot of money on the table to send me to college. So I took myself to college through just doing jobs, learning, willing to be wrong. And I think that's one of my biggest lessons, willing to be wrong. If I go out and do it and it's wrong, now I know it's only wrong if you leave it that way. So take the chance, get the knowledge, get the experience, and make your corrections. And so that's my college. That's kind of what I did. So I love it. Now I can't get rid of it. It's my drug. Entrepreneur, business. I love it. Doing anything and everything. Ideas. Once you get past the first barrier, now there's just ideas going everywhere.
Yeah.
So.
And a lot of them fall into place with each other too, leaning on your other businesses.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, they really do. They say necessity is the mother of all invention. And it's just that. When somebody's needing something, I'm somewhere in my character, I learned to say, hey, I'll do that, I'll try that, instead of going, well, I don't know, see ya. So if they needed it, I would go over and try to help or fix or do or create. And it's opened a lot of doors, a lot of doors.
That's really good advice too. So you've had a dozen businesses. A lot of it was construction related or real estate related. So how did Dr. Shots become an idea for you?
Okay, so this was a new path for me. As you said, real estate and construction kind of goes hand in hand. This was something completely off the table. The weird thing is this really started when COVID happened. In 2020, we're all sitting around, can't go anywhere, can't do anything, can't work. So actually my nephew had moved in with us, and we lived out in the country, out on some land, and he moved in for a little while, and he is an entrepreneur himself and had started a pickle juice company, which there really is no such thing as pickle juice. It's basically vinegar, but he created that and put it in the little small bottles. And so he excuse me, he had a different venture that he left that for, And we knew that there's a window of time that you have connections from this business that if you want to utilize that, you need to bring a new product to the table. So before those windows closed, so to speak, while he's there and we're sitting around, we're talking about all these ideas and crazy things we can do. And one evening, my wife goes in the kitchen and starts making a home remedy, and that we've done forever, kind of been through the family, mixes up this home remedy for indigestion or heartburn. And he looks over and he says, "Hey, what is that?" And so we show him and tries it and tastes it, and he's like, "Wow, you could actually drink this," compared to the pickle juice was one of the biggest problems. People didn't like the taste.
Right.
So with this, we made it taste good and could make it taste even better. So therein, the light bulb goes off, you know, and so everybody's thinking, and we're talking, and once again, you wake up the next morning, still COVID, you can't go to work, can't go anywhere, so we're drinking coffee and just drink coffee all day and, you know, talking and discussing and ideas, and, you know, this fire just starts, you know, burning. And so we said, well, let's put it to work, let's see what we can do. So after things calmed back down a little bit, we started making our calls and started making our connections, and particularly him making his connections back to some of the guys he had in that beverage company. And so that opened a few doors. So that's really kind of where this started, was just a home remedy. And once again, necessity. My wife has indigestion. And so that got the ball rolling, so to speak. And at that point, as an entrepreneur, as anybody, you have to push a little bit. You gotta go knock on some doors, and if they don't open, you kick some doors down. Let's put it that way. So we moved into Dr. Shots and started the company and made it legitimate and filed for our company name and all that good stuff. And then about a year in, me and my nephew had a falling out in the business. So we parted ways, and I bought him out. And he's still doing well. He's got another company that he works in, and I think he's actually got two now. And so we picked this up, and it's a little. I'm nervous about this one. My real estate, my construction, that's all I ever did. So I knew it. You know, you can blindfold me and I can build you a house.
Sure.
With this, it's a whole new ball game. I don't know some of the lingo. I'm kind of lost, but there's good people, and fortunately, I bumped into a few, and they're helping me along the way.
Absolutely.
So we're making progress.
Yeah. So what was the process of creating Dr. Shots? It's obviously a home remedy, but that was for heartburn and indigestion. You obviously have hangover. You know, how did y'all lean into this process?
Yeah. So when we took heartburn to the market, we needed a recipe. And once again, one of those things I didn't know until I know. What do I need to give to the formulators to create this? So as I started looking around for the proper ingredients and the things that we could get our hands on, we found a ton of ingredients. And all of a sudden, we had 50 recipes for 50 other products. But we knew that's too much. You can't take 50 to the market. We have to get a flagship, so to speak. So we started looking around for a few others, and the distributor that I went to, he had a connection, and just so happened that Allsups was changing their game. They're upping their game, kind of re-anting, if you will, and they needed some new products on the shelves. And so through this chain, they selected us. And they wanted heartburn, and then they wanted a hangover. Well, the hangover really wasn't what we had. We had more of a recovery. And so we chose to use this one because of the ingredients and what was in it, and pretty much just rename it to the hangover that they asked us for. We really designed it for recovery to be more when you have once again, in a construction trade, you're out sweating and just being drained all day long. It's Texas heat. So we wanted something to kind of replenish, make you feel a little bit better, whether you take it that evening when you get home or you take that morning before you go back to work.
Sure.
It just replenished all the vitamins and minerals that you'd lost for the day. So it felt like it fit perfectly for the hangover side. And it does just that. So if you've been out drinking and doing what you're doing and you need that little bit of kick. You know, it's going to replenish. You know, and make you feel a little bit better. And we had to put some ginger and stuff like that to help that belly feel a little bit better.
Yep.
You know, some of those you open the lid and whoa, it'll knock you down. So we had to get the smell just right and the flavor just right, so it don't throw you, because that weak stomach in the morning is not too good. So.
Yeah, I'm sure this is much better than Pedialyte. So.
Yeah, a little bit.
So what would you say is a big misconception about, either of these products then?
I think in the vitamin world, it's gotten a lot better. In the past, you couldn't get a lot of people to take vitamins. I think the belief, it was kind of foo-foo, whatever the word is. It's like, that doesn't really work. When you drink it, you don't feel it. You take a coffee or an energy drink. When you drink it, boom, you got a kick. Somebody hit the throttle. Well, with this, you don't really drink it and notice anything right away. Yeah. But it's that longevity that helps prevent disease and problems and colds, and it keeps you healthy by taking those vitamins. I've been a big proponent all the way back to the kids' Flintstone vitamins.
I know.
My mama gave them to me every day. So I'm big on my vitamins, and I have full faith in all these, of what they do, and the vitamins and minerals that are in there. I feel like our system has been depleted in the farming and the pesticides and herbicides, and it's just, we don't get what we used to get, and so you have to supplement. If you want to stay healthy, you have to. So that was the vitamins, I think, is a big thing that I promote now, that I think a lot of people still just don't quite believe in, because when you drink it, you just don't get that kick.
Right.
Except with heartburn. I promise you'll notice it. You drink it, it will go away. You'll belch a little bit, you relieve a little air in there.
Yeah.
You're going to feel better.
I think you made a good point about foods. There's, like you said, there's a lot of depletion in foods, but I think people, because of how labels read, a lot of consumers still think that they're getting the adequate amount, when in reality they're way depleted in what vitamins and stuff they have. So.
Yeah, that's pretty big. The label, we have to put everything on the bottles and on the cartons, and once again, a whole path I had no clue of. I didn't know how to do that. So once again, my distributor assisted in all of this stuff. But how do you read those things? There's words in there I don't know, and I don't know what half that stuff means. So is it healthy? Is it okay? They still tell me hairspray is causing cancer. So you don't know nowadays. So all I can do is try to trust that our FDA is doing a decent job, and that we're getting what we're supposed to be getting.
Sure. Well, even just by the look of it, it doesn't have that many ingredients, which is also a great factor when a lot of consumers are choosing products. Y'all started at a good time, because the pandemic really shaped the way people started thinking about what they're putting in their bodies versus what they're not. So I guess that kind of leads me into industry standards. Since you've started, how have standards changed that you've noticed? I know this is still new.
Yeah, it is still new to us. So what we are seeing is exactly that. From the pandemic, you have a near-death experience. It changes that mentality. I'll refer back to a silly movie, Fight Club, and I shouldn't call it silly. It's pretty cool. I like the movie. But Fight Club, when Brad Pitt pulls a gun on the guy laying on the ground, and he's not hurting him, but he takes his license and tells him, if you don't change your life, I'll be back to get you. And then as the guy walks off, he turns around and says, tomorrow's breakfast will be the best tasting meal that he will ever have in his life, because he had a near-death experience. It changes what goes on in here. And that's the whole key to life. If you can change this paradigm, if you can change your belief system, you can become unstoppable. There's nothing that can get in your way. Truthfully, nothing. So this happened on a global scale. The entire planet was threatened with death. And so all of a sudden, everything starts to change. When we came out of this, jobs are changing, marriages are changing, careers, everything, cars, homes, you name it, everything is twisting around. So putting this product out there now, people are starting to go, hey, I want to try something new. I want to do something different. I've seen those 5-hour energies for 20 years now. I want something new. I need a new product. Here it is.
Yeah.
This is what we're trying to bring. So the industry has moved in just 4 short years.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're in the right lane,
Yeah.
and this will pick up.
Absolutely. What's an unpopular opinion that you personally have about either just the vitamin health wellness industry or your products personally?
Unpopular opinion. Well,
I know it's always
I would say back to the Dr. Shots hangover. Once again, unpopular. We sent it out, and some people said right from the beginning, "Well, I don't need that. I don't drink anymore." And so we're not. I almost wish we hadn't have named it hangover. I wished we would have went with recovery, because now people think that it's only for hangover, and so they think, well, I got to go out and drink just to take this. And so now it's my job to help try to promote and make people realize, no, this is more recovery. It's for everything. If you, once again, been out in the sun, you've been sweating, you've been working, tired, didn't sleep well, get you some of this.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Well, I can give you a quick testimonial. My husband's boss doesn't drink, but they played golf, and he's not from Texas, so playing in the heat was hard on him. And he always made jokes about it. He's like, I have no idea how everyone lives there, but he tried the hangover relief when they were out there. And my husband drinks, but he felt great afterwards because he had a hard time playing a whole round of golf in the heat.
In this heat, that's right.
Yeah, so I mean, it is good for not just people that drink.
Good.
Yeah. So
Good.
there's
proof.
There's,
It is not just hangover; it's recovery.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. You almost stumped me with that one.
I know. But I love that question because you're used to hearing everybody else's opinions, especially with social.
Yeah.
So it's nice to just kind of hear your side of it as a business owner. Let's talk about risk. You've obviously had a lot of businesses. I'm sure we'll continue to start plenty of businesses, but what's some risks that you've taken?
The first risk, the biggest risk, I would say, is going into business with my wife. That alone is probably everything. You put a lot at stake. It's risky going into business. It's you're rolling the dice all the time. It's just what you do. And believe it or not, you roll the dice every day. No matter what you're doing, you're always risking. Now that I'm on a different path, different side of the fence, we'll say, the risk feels so much easier on this side. Although, once again, you're taking products to the market. You have to spend time and effort and money. It's still a risk, but I enjoy that risk, and the rewards are so much greater. So everything is a risk, but risking your relationship, that was a big one, and so we had to learn how to communicate. And we would literally go to the office and have some knockdown, drag-out fights, and ride in the car home together and walk in the door, and then have to walk around the kitchen island and go, "Hi, honey, how was your day?"
I know.
And it's really changing, taking this hat off and putting this one on. It's just really a major ordeal in your life. But that's probably the biggest one. But I would say now, knowing what I know, not taking the risk in business is probably the biggest risk, in my opinion, nowadays. You got to take that chance. You got to step out. You got to try something.
Yeah, I love that.
They call it side hustle nowadays. Everybody's got a side hustle, and that's what I did. And I side hustled one job while I had another until this one overtook, and then I could make this one go away. So
that's the other thing too. Is a lot of people are trying to find ways to supplement their income, or just like you said, completely replace their primary job just for freedom. Financial freedom is really what the term is these days. Yeah. Which I think is huge. So what else is coming for Dr. Shots? Are there new products coming out soon?
We do have new products. As I said earlier, I've got about 50 recipes. It's just figuring out logistics on 50 recipes and how would you get that to a store and sell that. It's crazy. So we started with 2. And this is what's in Allsup's and Yesway right now. And they moved us from the eyesight. Well, these are little things I didn't know about counter placement. And so at the eyesight level is like the higher dollar area to put your product. So they got us to the eyesight level, and now they're moving us actually onto the checkout counter. So they love the products, and they're moving our products for us. So, which is really good. That means people are taking it, drinking it, and loving it. But they came and said, we want 2 more. So everything's doing very well. So we're like, great, this is fantastic. So they wanted a weight control and a stress relief. So I didn't really have anything in the weight control area. But after going back to, once again, to my formulators and saying, hey, what can we put together here? What ingredients do we have? We looked around and checked around. And once again, it's important to us to get as healthy as we can in here because we still have to put some preservatives just to keep some shelf life on the product.
Sure.
So we wanted as healthy as we could be. And in a weight control, we wanted something that was very natural, but curbed a little bit of an appetite. So if it's 10:30ish in the morning, you've had breakfast and you're trying to get to lunch and you're pretty hungry, you can just drink one of these little bottles and it'll get you by for about an hour or 2. It'll get you through till lunch. You could skip a meal on it, but once again, that's per you and your doctor and what you say. I'm not going to promote anything like that, but it will curb that appetite just a little bit. It's not going to give you coffee jitters or anything like that. No jitters go along with it. It's just a little bit of something to help that stomach kind of hold off them hunger pains. So that I'm excited about those 2. The stress, once again, everybody's dealing with that. People, especially like me, are 24/7 on the clock. You know, you've got to come down a little bit. You got to take a break. So the stress relief, once again, very natural products in there. It's not all natural, but everything in there is as natural as we can make it. And something to, kind of wind down the end of the day, maybe on the way home from work, drink one of those before you get home and drink a beer. Don't be drinking and driving, we don't want you doing that. So drink this. It's non-alcoholic, non-CBD. Quick note, it did get put on the shelf at first as a CBD product. And people are like, well, we got to be 21 to buy. No. So we had to change that and fix it. It is not CBD. It is a natural product. So stress and weight control, and now heartburn, and I keep wanting to call it recovery because that's what we like, but hangover. And we're excited. I don't know where this is going. We're excited about where we want to take it. It's going fast into the stores. They're loving it. It seems to be doing good on the shelf. Honestly, my big goal here at the end is Dr. Pepper. I'm shooting Dr. shots right at Dr. Pepper. That's what we want. We want Dr. Pepper to pick this product up and put it in their shelves and in their hands and in their system because they can get it global, very quickly. But we'd love to be able to take this out to a mass scale and see our products on the shelf. And moreover than that, it's naturally helping people. So a quick note on heartburn. Sorry, I like to talk too much.
This is great.
With heartburn, Pepcid, Zantac, all those, in 2019, I don't know about today, but in 2019, that was the #1 prescribed medication on the planet was for indigestion. So we know that it affects every person out there. And so to take something out that's natural, that's mama's good old home recipe that actually works, that's just the coolest feeling you will ever get in the world.
Absolutely.
Just awesome.
Yeah.
So we hope that it does well. That's going to be really the flagship product, I guess I would say. That's the one that's the best. Everything else we're going to keep it in line, make it fit the mold. So
yeah,
we're excited.
That's great. When should consumers expect the newest 2? I mean, what's your timeline for those being released?
We have actually pick up cartons tomorrow, and the labels have been signed off on last week. Formulation is already done, so we should have this product going down the line in about a week and have actually product in hand.
That's huge.
So we're just crazy excited, and once again, Allsups and Yesway have already called for it. They want it. They can't wait to get it in their hands. So this is awesome.
Yeah, and this is all local too, correct? It's everything is here, right, in North Texas, which is
Yeah.
even better. A lot of people like buying local. So
Right. Everything is facilitated here in North Texas. The bottles, the labels, caps, and then once again, I didn't realize. I thought if you're buying this stuff, you bought it all at like the bottle store. I didn't know I'm construction. I can build you the building, but I
Yeah.
didn't know what's in it. So I found out that everything is from somewhere different. So it was a little bit of a painstaking task to locate everyone and find everyone, and luckily it's Dallas, so it's huge and it's all here. So North Texas is taking care of this and pushing this out, and I'm excited, man. Once again, a hometown guy, a hometown product.
Yeah.
It feels really, really good. I'm really stoked about this.
Well, we're excited for you, and this stuff's great. We've all tried it, so we're really happy to see it taken off and making its debut just right out of the gates.
There we go.
All subs and yes, wait, that's awesome. So
yeah, we can't wait.
Yeah.
We've met with some other people, and we've talked about some stuff like Walmart, but we want to make sure we're prepared before we bite off too big a chunk. We want to make sure we can take care of everything. So it's growing stages and steps, but we're good with it.
yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We're really excited
Cool.
about
Thank you for
what's
having me.
next for you guys, and we will see you next time.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
Cool. Nice.